Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the 3-part video series that is on Super 8. Today I'm going to school you cool cats on how to go about purchasing your own Super 8 camera and everything you're going to need with it. I will tell you now, this endeavour into Super 8 can be fairly expensive, but it also can be ridiculously cheap, and that's what makes it exciting. First of all, you're going to want a camera. And you may get lucky in a thrift store, an antique shop or a charity shop and see a camera just lying there on a shelf, but you have no idea if it works. So you're going to want to test it yourself. And you can do that very simply by doing the following. Number 1, bring in some batteries and test it yourself. Most Super 8 cameras run on AA batteries, and if you have no clue where to go about buying them, I can't help you. You're silly. And once your batteries are inside of the camera, you can move on swiftly to step 2. Find the cartridge compartment and pull the trigger and see if the motor runs at all frame rate speeds. Use your initiative and listen to the motor. If it sounds clicky or jiggery or another made up word, then it's probably broken and you're going to want to put it back on the shelf. If it sounds fine, then you can move on to the last step, which is step 3. Look through the viewfinder and see if the optics are alright. If the image is clear, then the optics are fine. You've just found yourself a working camera. Bravo for you, bravo. Now of course it's not guaranteed that every thrift store or antique shop or car boot sale you go to will have a Super 8 camera. That's why I recommend eBay. The thing is, a lot of people who sell Super 8 cameras on eBay don't know if their camera works or if it's valuable, so they just throw it on eBay at a low price and hope for the best. A lot of the time you'll find a camera on eBay and it's listed as untested, sold as seen, or as parts, and you are risking your money. But if you can get a camera at 99p, do it. It may work. If not, you've still got yourself a cool looking vintage hipster piece of thing which you can take pictures of and put on your Instagram and get tons of likes. I would recommend spending around £20 to £40, but no more. And I highly recommend, before you go about buying any Super 8 camera, do some research on the model, Google it. In the description below I have linked an online encyclopedia full of specs of different models, and I'd highly recommend looking up the specs before you go about buying any model. In my opinion, you're going to want to find a camera which can shoot at 24 frames per second. A lot of the early Super 8 cameras only shot at 18 frames per second, and you're probably going to want that smooth film look. So 24 is the way to go. It's also nice to bear in mind a lot of cameras can do single shot for stop motion or 36 frames per second for slow motion. Other things you're probably going to want to look into are built-in light meters, automatic and manual aperture settings, and what kind of lens the camera has. And you're going to want to know all of that before bidding on any model. It's also never a bad idea just to message the seller and ask him, hey, can you put some batteries in and see if the motor runs for me? Or can you just look down the viewfinder and tell me if it looks alright? Or can you look at the camera and tell me if there's any damage in it in any way which may suggest that it doesn't work? Because that may save you a lot of time and money. A brand of camera which I would recommend looking out for are Canon, because they're reliable and they are known for making cameras which work well and are durable. I specifically looked out for options for the Canon Auto Zoom 518 SV and its bigger brother, the Auto Zoom 814. I've seen them many times on eBay. They're fairly common and they do everything I wanted, and they do them well. And they also look pretty cool. I've seen auctions for this exact camera go anywhere between £10 and £80. I will warn you now, the kind of people who collect these vintage items are ferocious. They leave the auction quiet until the last 10 seconds and then all of them bid at once. The amount of times I've seen a camera go from 99p to £30 in the last 10 seconds is ridiculous. It's crazy. It's wild. If you see a camera which looks fine and currently has 0 bids on it, you may want to message the seller and offer them a price. You may get lucky. That's what I did. Now you have your camera. You're going to want some Super 8mm film. Gauge film is a resource that aims to make film easy to access, easy to understand, and affordable. On their eBay store they offer a one-payment service that includes a cartridge of film with a development process prepaid. So they send you some film, you film your film, you send your film to them, and they develop your film, and they give that to you. And you got your film. Easy. One payment. From them you can get a cartridge of film and it developed for £32, which is the cheapest I can find anywhere, which means it is the cheapest anywhere. So now you have your film developed, you're probably going to want to watch it A projector will do that. Follow the same advice I gave you for when looking for a camera. Research the model, ask the seller, and hope for the best. I would recommend paying around £30 to £50 and no more. This is the projector I have. And now look how the price ranges for the same projector on these eBay auctions. It's ridiculous. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then you're most likely a part of the Web 2.0 era, and you're going to want to share your Super 8 film on online video exhibition platforms like YouTube or Vimeo. Telecine is a process which scans your developed film and gives you a clear and clean digital copy of it. Gauge Film will scan your Super 8 footage for £12. Alternatively, you can project it onto an A4 piece of paper and record that projection, but it won't be amazing, but it will be okay. If you wanted, you could skip the whole buying a projector stage and just get it scanned digitally and watch it like that. But one of the main reasons why physical film is so popular are the range of colours and image quality you get when projecting it. When physical celluloid film is played back traditionally through a projector, there's just so much more noticeable range in colours, and you can get some really gorgeous images played back, and arguably it's better than anything that modern day digital film can offer. Some would disagree, and it is a big debate in the film world, but without a doubt there is just something special about watching something which you filmed and you have no clue what it looks like back. You have an idea, but you have no clue. You filmed the whole film, it's unedited, you've just filmed this little sequence and you've sent it off to get developed, and it comes back to you, and I'm ranting now, but it comes back to you and you project it onto your wall. There is just something really special about seeing that image come back and just knowing that it's a physical thing. It's just, it's exciting, it's fascinating, and I would describe it as magical. At the risk of it sounding pretentious, there's some magical elements to that. If at the start of this video you were interested in pursuing Super 8, hopefully you haven't been turned off by the price of things. It is pretty expensive, but it can be cheap. It can be really cheap, and I find that exciting for some reason, because I'm crazy. But for those of you who are brave enough, good luck. Next time I'll be discussing further the limitation and creative opportunity you get when working with Super 8, and discuss further why it's so popular beyond the whole hipster, Instagram, Lana Del Rey look you get with it. In the meantime, you can check out some of the links I put below in the description, including one video by Gauge Film on how to operate a Super 8 camera. It's pretty interesting and informative. I'd recommend it highly. So, until next time, bye bye!